Hey, happy Monday, everybody. It's Paulo Brantz with this Monday market update. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I can tell you I overate. I am tired, but I'm ready for an incredible week as it relates to mortgages and interest rates. You're going to see here that interest rates are definitely have improved from last week. And I can't wait to jump into it because right now is a really good time. And we're going to talk about why to put an offer in on a house, get your offer accepted. I was talking to one of our past clients who reminded me that in December he's bought two houses and they have gotten incredible deals. So let's go ahead and bring up the update and let's dive into it here, or dive into it, whatever that is here. So let's go ahead and let's talk about the interest rate. So we have a VA loan at 5.375, FHA same, conventional 5.875, and jumbo is at 5.875. Now notice what I did here is I am including 1 point or up to 1 point in these interest rates. The reason is in this market, we are seeing sellers wanting to get rid of their house and being willing to get a credit for closing costs, get your interest rate down. And, here's the thing. One video that has been watched a lot is if you're in a situation whether to take a $10,000 price reduction or a $10,000 credit to get your interest rate lowered. Let me just cut to the chase and give you a spoiler alert here is that the price reduction does not even come close to the benefit of getting a $10,000 credit to buy your interest rate down. It's absolutely night and day difference. If you want the video, just reach out to me. If you want me to run a scenario for you, feel free to reach out. It is absolutely a huge difference, and it's a mistake that people are making. So what's happening in the market right now is we're seeing year over year home prices remain positive at 1.3%. Now, this is clearly not what we've been seeing over the past 5 years, but it's still in that positive momentum, and pending home sales have increased as well, 1.9%. It's a small jump, but it's also showing that the market is starting to take a little bit of a change. Now, this is nationwide, and if you want a more localized report, either reach out to me, reach out to your real estate agent. If you're not working, let me get zoomed up here. If you're not working with a great real estate agent, reach out. We work with the best agents and they're going to take great care of you. This is the kind of information that they're going to provide to ensure that your offer is accepted at a great price. And, even if it makes sense to get your closing costs paid for. Okay, let's jump to economic factors that are supporting lower rates. We're seeing a softer labor market. Therefore, we're seeing unemployment claims reach a 4-year high. Consumer spending pullback. Now, why does this impact 30-year fixed rates? Well, remember, I've said this multiple times, is that, the kryptonite to 30-year fixed rates is inflation. And what a softer labor market tells us is that, they don't have to essentially pay so much for their employees, which is going to come to you as a result of lower cost of goods or services provided or goods purchased. So you're going to see inflation, not necessarily appreciate or come down, but slow down that appreciation. So inflation is calming down as a result of labor marketing is softening. Sorry, I couldn't spit that out. That took me a while. Consumer spending pullback. What's going to happen is that as a result of less demand, they're going to have to bring prices down to generate more demand because people just don't want to spend their money today. What's going to happen this week? We have on Wednesday jobs reports, which, by the way, these are things that move interest rates. So the jobs reports, we already talked about why. Jobless claims on Thursday. We've already talked about why and how the job or the unemployment impacts interest rates. Now, Friday is PCE. This is the Federal Reserve's favorite measurement of inflation. This could definitely, trigger interest rates to go higher or lower. They have a set amount they're looking at, and if it changes, if it's off, either higher or lower, you can expect rates to change change accordingly. For example, if inflation comes in higher than expected, you're going to see interest rates go up. If it comes in at where it's at or lower, you can see some improvement in interest rates. The rate outlook, short term and long term, the next 1 to 2 weeks, we're not seeing too much action out there. So floating is a safe strategy right now. So what we mean by floating is when you get into contract, it may be a good idea not to necessarily lock, although some people don't like that, or you may not have enough time to float. We can get into that strategy once you get into contract. But we think that the rates are going to stay the same. But if they don't stay the same, there's more likely that they'll improve versus increase. Long-term outlook, we could see a gradual rate improvement. It all depends on inflation and what happens to the market. But everything that we know right now, it definitely shows more towards a gradual improvement than a increase. So strategic for today's market, we have bridge loans. If you have to buy, by the way, there are 5 ways that you can buy a house first before you sell. So if you're thinking of selling, let's make sure that we get you, exactly, or buying first and selling. Let's make sure you know exactly what your options are. And if you aren't ready to buy yet, or maybe you are, but you don't want to commit or have your credit pulled or provide documentation, that's okay. That's why we have what's called a hopes and dreams. There's a QR code right there. I always get it mistaken. Go ahead and click that. That leads you to my calendar. Look at hopes and dreams conversation. I'm not going to pull your credit. I'm not going to take an application. Using my 20 years of experience, I can tell you about 90% of people that do their own research, although it's very good, there's still a major mistake in it, whether they miscalculate payments or programs and stuff like that. In 20 minutes, we can have this all sorted out for you, get your family on the right path for the right loan. And when the time is right, we would absolutely love to work with you. So there's my Monday update. If you need me, I would love to connect. It's going to be a great week. Have a great first week of December. Take care.